Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Walking Pod. This time, I am joined with my roommate and good friend, Margo Griska.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking all things local walking. As you all know, we are located in Syracuse, New York, and we go to school here, obviously. So we kind of just wanted to talk about some of the ways to improve walking on a daily basis, ways to integrate it into your life more frequently, and kind of how to spice it up a bit. I think that for me personally, with how much time I spend on my laptop doing schoolwork, it's hard to find a time to get a walk in.
Absolutely.
Especially on the weekends.
I couldn't agree more with like it's just so much time constantly spent doing work and like in class.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's a busy activity. It's a busy lifestyle that we're all doing constantly.
I feel like even more so, it's like I almost have to sacrifice moving my body on a daily basis if I want to get all my work done at the caliber that I want it to be.
Exactly.
Like if you're going to write a paper that's let's say is 6,000 words, I mean, that's kind of long, but anywhere from like 2,000 to 6,000, that's like a day plus of your time that you're dedicating to spending in a library, in your house,
studying, doing research. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course, but you got to be able to find time to actively move your body, so you're not only exercising your mind, but also your body, which makes it everything just happier. And I think something that sometimes limits people, especially in like a busy kind of area, and especially campus that we go to, it's like there's not a ton of walking trails. There's not a ton of like walking space because there's like a highway. Mm-hmm. There are sidewalks coming from campus. But if you want to walk anywhere else, like I know that there's a place, if I want to go to the supermarket or go to a little bakery down the road, there are no sidewalks. I'd have to drive there. I'd have to bike there, and I don't own a bike, and even then it's pretty dangerous, and there are no sidewalks. So I just have to hope and be safe. But I don't want to be walking on people's properties, and I don't want to be walking next to the forest where there are a bunch of cars coming by. So
but I would say in general, not even here in Syracuse specifically, but I would say to all universities across the country, I feel like this is a problem that people, college-age students are going to be facing, and even more in the coming years, of the increasing amounts of work and facing the choice between moving your body or being on your laptop. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's something that we need to continue to bring awareness to, or else the art of literally walking and running is going to die quicker than we think.
But another thing that people are really implementing, have you ever heard of like a walking desk?
Yes.
A standing desk, which then got into a walking desk, which for me personally, I don't know if that would work because it requires a lot of focus.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't always have that. Yeah.
I also think that another limitation of the walking desk is that, yes, you are moving your body.
But you're not outside.
You're increasing your endorphins a bit, but yes, you're still inside, and you're still not getting that break. You're not getting...
You're just trying to increase productivity, and you're multitasking on things that should really be focused on and not multitasked with.
And I think if you're going for a walk, it should be anti-technology. And that's just my opinion.
And that doesn't mean no music.
No, I like to go on a walk with music. I think that enhances the walk, but I don't think... If you're going on a walk, your computer should not be there with you.
Absolutely.
No.
Agreed.
So I think...
who should be with you on a walk? A good friend.
I think that that's one of the ways that can really enhance a walk. So to get into like the meat of it, I think that one way to make walking more practical and easier to do on a daily basis is to invite a friend.
Absolutely. Because we walk home from campus at least once every other week. Yeah. Right? When we can. And sometimes also, twice a week if it's nice out.
Yeah, and I think that it makes it so much better because you're not even thinking about the process of walking. Like, you're not noticing how heavy you're breathing or thinking about how much time has passed.
You're having a good time with
If you're with a friend, it doubles as a time to hang out and catch up, which again, I think is something that kids are running out of.
Mm-hmm. It really gets your steps in. Oh, especially with kids. I mean, I remember I made some of my best friendships in middle school and early high school before I got a car.
Yeah.
Was walking to school.
Yeah.
Walking to school from home. I used to see people I didn't really know, and we'd start talking on our walk home.
Yeah.
And I became good friends with them.
I agree. In elementary school, we used to do this thing. I mean, I only lived less than a mile from my elementary school, but we used to walk as well, and it was kind of
like... walking Wednesdays a month.
Yes, and it was a big trail of all the neighbors. And I remember those memories so specifically because it was a time when everybody was just enjoying each other's company, and it was a small thing walking to school, but so
Yeah,
memorable. And
It's like this whole big event, but sometimes it would make this big event where some people that wouldn't normally walk all of a sudden walked, and I was like, what are you doing here?
yeah, or some kids would bike. Like, it was just a time when, like, a set in time where everyone would go and walk to school and move your body, like, before walking to school and walking home. And it was kind of special in that sense.
And that's something that you don't really, like, I can understand, and I think that spaces out, like, the taking a break really nicely, because you're walking to and from school, sometimes not necessarily from, but walking to school when you're young, and for young kids, is it's right before doing an activity.
Yeah.
Making sure that you're at least implementing that kids and people should get active outside before doing work, or in between work. Like, in elementary school, kids have recess.
Yeah.
You don't have recess in the
We don't have recess in the real world.
I haven't had recess in so long.
And I think that that's also a testament to why there are so many more mental illnesses and sleep disorders are so much more common these days, because it's like people aren't moving their body at an adequate amount, and they're not even walking an adequate amount.
Yeah,
it's so rare.
And I know that a bunch of people have like these smartwatches. I have one that says like, oh, you should be getting at least 10,000. A lot of the time, I don't always hit that.
Yeah.
I don't always hit that, and I'm competing at a Division 1 level.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I don't get that. Like, I have so much work and I do so much.
Yeah, I think that.
And again, I don't necessarily walk.
I think that's also another thing too, is because we are both Division 1 athletes here, we have an allotted amount of time where we go and move our bodies every day. And I think that
I know a ton of people that never even go to the gym.
Yeah.
And they're like, why am I so depressed? Why can I not sleep?
Yeah.
You got out and you moved, and that can be done just by walking. And I know a big thing over the COVID quarantine in 2020 was like going for big walks. You said you went for what, like 13 miles or something?
Oh,
or
I
something
used to
crazy.
go on. During COVID, that was a huge time when I got really, really big into walking, because I think it was because the rinks weren't open. Obviously, I play hockey. You couldn't really work out many places that weren't like outdoor parks. So I would just put on my headphones and go for 13, 11-mile walks.
That's insane.
Almost every other day. And it was so nice, because it was a time where you think that going for a walk is just, oh, you're going to move your body, but it's like you release a lot of emotion on those walks, and you also come.
And it's time to think.
Mental. It's very
time to think.
Yeah.
It's like meditative.
You come back with so much more mental clarity than you left with, and I think that that's the most powerful thing about walking, and why I have tried to implement more of it recently.
And also, if you have a dog.
Yeah.
If you have a dog, you have to take them out on walks.
Yeah.
I've even seen people, my neighbors down the hall from me back home, they have a leash for their cat.
Yeah.
They walk her outside. Josie, they walk her outside.
Yeah, that's adorable.
And it's a fun little activity, and they still try to get outside, because I asked them themselves, and they said, we lead busy lives. We want to care for our animals. We want to care for themselves.
Yeah, I think that, kind of circling back, I think that going on a walk with either a friend or a pet are both great incentives to spend quality time with someone you enjoy, or a pet that you need to exercise. And it makes it a little bit less mind-numbing. So I think that's one way. Another thing that I like to do to kind of incentivize myself to go for a walk is to walk somewhere that I know I'll be doing something. Like, I like to walk to a coffee shop.
An activity.
I like to walk to class.
It's breaking it up. It's essentially like, oh,
I have to go here anyways.
Yeah, I have to go here anyways.
Or just make it a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand that in colder climates, like when you go to school in upstate New York, it does get cold. And I find myself being I don't walk a lot of places when it's cold out. And that's something that, like, you got to prepare, you got to bundle for. But even then, if it's like snowing out and you go for a walk, it's such an experience.
It is such an experience. And I also think that that even goes to show that when it is a little bit warmer, you should be making that effort to get outside.
And your body, you feel it naturally that you want to be outside.
Because you can cherish it more.
Exactly.
I think the thing that will hit home with more college students as well is, you can soak up the rays when you go outside.
Oh, absolutely. You can get a nice little tan on.
Yeah. Tank top, shorts.
You gotta wear SPF.
Yes, SPF is important, but I think that is something that could help people that might not normally like to walk. If it's nice out and you are feeling a bit vampire-esque, go for a walk.
Indeed.
It's easy.
Indeed.
And then I think the last thing that I kind of want to talk about is just how much better I feel on a daily basis now that I feel like I've been trying to increase my steps a lot more.
You have been. A lot.
Which is kind of also doubled as like a personal experiment because obviously I started this podcast and I have been making more of an effort to do research on how to increase the prevalence of walking.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been walking home from campus almost every day. And I just kind of want to talk about that, and like you can input your own feedback because I know that you walk home from campus as well.
I mean, I try to walk home from campus like as much as I can, but with my sport, it's like I get very tired and I'm always doing endurance type activities, but I still know that when I do and I get a little bit of my body moving, I do tend to feel better at practice. But even if it's just on like a weekend when normally I'd just either be home like laying in bed or doing nothing, maybe just doing work if even, going for a walk after I've completed my homework.
Yeah.
If I'm going from campus to home, especially walking with you, it's always a nice little like even today we could have driven somewhere, which maybe would have been like a 2-3 minute ride.
We were just hanging out with some friends. They live about less than a mile away.
Less than a mile.
Yeah.
It's still like the walk up there is harder than the walk down. I'll guarantee that. But we took some nice pictures of the sunset. We watched the sunset. Talked about what we had just done, spent more hangout time. I mean,
I would say
I got in some movement, and I was feeling a little sleepy, and I know that I still have to do some workout. Yeah,
woke me up. I also think that's a good point that you brought up about the photos. I find that I take the best pictures when I go for walks, and that's one thing that really gets me out of the door is thinking about I love to explore new places.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that if you bring your phone, not even to be on it, when I go on walks, I don't go on my phone, but even just having it with me, knowing that if I see something that excites me or something inspiring, you can take a photo of it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's kind of like a fun collection of, because
of
you wouldn't normally go down the streets you go down when you go on a walk.
Absolutely. And I mean, sometimes I don't take as artsy as photos as you do, but one of my favorite things is finding food on the ground as I'm walking, especially on campus. I think it's hysterical.
Yeah.
Just find random pieces of food or artifacts, and sometimes when I'm walking I like to do these little things. If I look for little hearts in different places, I like taking pictures of those because I think it's really cute because hearts are in nature. But I like it opens your eyes and you're able to see like the beauty in the world when you go for walks. I think that's something that
I feel so much more grounded after a walk.
Absolutely, and just clear. I feel clear. I feel healthy.
Every time I go on a walk and I have something that's really stressing me out, it's like transformational when I come back.
Absolutely.
It's like you come back with a sense of it's going to be okay. So I think that's the main message that I want people to take away from this is that walking it's not a form of exercise sometimes.
And you don't always have to do it. It's something that you get to do.
And I think it's something that can just shift your mindset, and it's a powerful tool to have and use when needed, but it's not something to just purely train your body physically.
Absolutely.
So that's, I think, where we want to leave it. Some practical tips to incorporate walking into your life on a daily basis. Let us know if you try any of these out and if you see any improvements.
And Erin, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on the pod, Margot.